Hi, friends. Welcome back to another episode of Real Housewives of Moto. It is Monday morning. It is bright and early for Katie, especially on the West Coast. Katie, what time is it your time? 7:30?
7:30. But that's okay because it's like I could separate podcasts and work. Like I don't feel bad.
Yeah, no, me too. I like starting our Mondays off with Moto. It is episode 18, which there's some pretty famous numbers with or people with the 18 number. Jet, notably, there we go, most notably running the 18 until, he's run the 1 everywhere. I thought 18 was really cool when he had it, and him and Hunter both have like their own fonts. I think Hunter's like 96, how it interlocks is really cool.
I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool one.
I'm just so used to seeing Jet with 1, so it's like weird when he has 18.
That's funny. That's how I feel about Haiden. Like when I see the one on Haiden on a Yamaha, like at first I'm like, oh, is that Cooper? And I'm like, no, it's 250s. Like, so other notable 18s, Davey Millsaps. I love me. Yeah. I love me some Millsap fam. So I was looking back on my personal account, my old one that I'm like locked out of, and I did a countdown like before our wedding. We got married in 2013, and most of the numbers were like the riders that I liked. So like when I think I started at 29, I think I started with Shorty, and I was like 29 days, and it was Andrew. And so then when I got down to 18, it was Davey, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need to send this to Davey now that like him and I kind of talk back and forth on Instagram. But it's like 18 days until we get married via Davey Millsaps.
That's so cute.
Yeah, it was funny. Tim was like, there's a picture of Davey Millsaps on your profile from like 2013. And I was like, yeah, did you notice it's like I just like screenshot it from somewhere. It's like on the gate. Like Davey's like walking behind the gate. I was like, that's not my picture from 2013. So, all right. Episode 18. It was a heavy weekend. And full disclosure, we're going to talk about Aidan Zingg at the end of this, because I won't be able to get through the episode without crying. If we talk about it at the top of the hour, but, I have not watched the second motos. I found out about Aidan's passing when I was watching 250 Moto 1 because they were backwards. I think I always miss the memo when it's on NBC. And then there were some weird things with the broadcast where like nobody was talking and the graphic was huge. And I was like, what is happening? And then I was like, oh, we must be on NBC and this is a commercial break. So got it. But I was watching it back because we had to run some errands and, kiddos and life and swimming lessons and all the things. And so I found out about Aidan's passing in 250 Moto 1. And I mean, I just couldn't pay attention. So, in full disclosure, this is not really going to be a heavy like race recap episode, which I think is fine. I mean, there's a million other podcasts that you could do that on, but Katie, would love to hear from a happier standpoint, like where were you watching and what were you doing and what were your initial thoughts about Southwick?
I don't know. I woke up feeling kind of meh, like I wasn't that excited, but I was so excited on Friday. Like I felt like the energy already kind of felt down. I don't know if I just had a sense that something bad was going to happen. I just kind of just not that excited to watch. But Derek and I just watched it at home, and then, the tweet started coming in about Aidan. It said serious injuries at first, like I didn't get confirmation till he passed till I think 450 Moto 2.
Did they say something on the broadcast? I feel like I missed that.
They did not. I don't think.
Oh, okay. I was like, I did not see it. I didn't think they would, but.
And yeah, I mean, that kind of just ruined the day. I didn't watch 250 Moto 2 at all. I was kind of just like, it's kind of just like Southwick didn't even matter to me at that point, because if everyone rode away that day with their heart beating and heading home to their families, they all won yesterday. Like, I don't care. Eli got third and had a bad round. I don't care how good Jet looked. Like, they all won on Saturday.
Yeah.
And it kind of just really took the wind out of the sails. Like it's devastating, and I don't have the proper words for it.
I don't either. I'm gonna start crying already. Somebody said something to me in my DMs when I was posting about this, and they were like, whether your kids ride or not, like as parents, like when those kids get on the track, like they're everybody's kids. And I was just like, God, that makes me that is so true. I'm gonna cry. I don't want to cry. We'll come back to it. We'll put a pin in it. But I am curious, like when something like this happens, something as terrible as this, and I think it happened. It was going on during the last, like I think Aidan pass during the last 250 moto, potentially during the 450s. So part of me is like, what do you do if you're a mom, a wife, a team manager, and you know that this has happened in the sport? Like, you don't, I would assume you don't tell your rider, like
No, Garrett Marchbanks, sexy caveman,
thank
posted
you.
that his mechanic and trainer and Brock pulled him to the side after Moto 2.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's just like the worst possible situation to be in. My heart goes out to like the Cowie team, the Fox team. I mean, like Aidan was like up and up, like so well connected. And yeah, I just think about like, I don't know that I would want to know if I'm having to go out there and race on a rocket ship and like the actual thing that killed him, like I'm on a bike. I don't think I'd want to know. I think I'd be way too up in my head. I mean, it's probably one of the many reasons why I don't race dirt bikes is I'd be up in my head. I feel like it would be dangerous, and yeah, it's awful.
It really just puts things in a perspective.
Yeah, it does. It really does. So we'll come back to him. So Aly, like I'm like snotting already.
I know, my eyes.
Golly, I feel like I'm like my face has been puffy since then. Like we went to dinner with my parents after the races. Like we'd already had this planned, and my dad was like, "What is wrong with you?" And I had to explain like some kid I don't know was killed in the sport that I love, and just like there's no words. There's no words for it. So we're going to talk about a few silly things around the sport. We're going to start off with some good things, but also some confusing things. Jorge Prado. Jorge, what's going on, homie? What's
That
going on?
was just, I mean, the night before we're talking about like what was Chase thinking and that he's might be like breaking his contract
Oh, I know.
I mean, Eli had a hard time getting around him.
Yeah, it was wild. I mean, I know that they're investing a ton into that bike. Dan had mentioned that like there's another motor coming from Japan. I don't see him as like a diva. I really don't. I think his vlog was great. Dan and I talked about it last week. The vlog, I mean, he came in saying, this is my new home, my new family. And so I think he came in with the right mentality. And I just think that he, as successful as he's been, he was just blindsided by how it didn't transfer. And I understand like he was coming from KTM and that's a massive departure anyway. But I don't think that he's being like a diva. I think other people are being a diva. We're just gonna say that the level of my appreciation for certain riders is going down. We'll just put it that way.
Is he racing this weekend?
He's supposed to be. Did you see Jade posted his bike? It looks sick. So like Jade Dungy.
Oh, for Redbud. Like
for Redbud, the Redbud graphics.
American graphics.
Yes.
Oh, then
they
he'll
look
be
so
there.
good. I mean, one would hope, but I heard that his bike was ready and prepped for Southwick and he was not there. He was in a swimming pool, which we also posted.
Yeah, the timing is weird. He posted it like as the races were starting. I can't remember if it was qualifying, but
he knows.
Like...
He knows. I don't like it. So, but Prado looks good. I mean, if all goes well and they can figure this thing out, then Chase and Prado are teammates next year. Like, okay, like, okay, let's go racing. Let's go green machine. So I don't know how Chase feels. Watching this and the back and forth, like, I mean, maybe Chase is sitting back being like, cool, like let George take the bullets, like let George figure out the bike. That's what we're calling him now.
That's a good point. I was thinking like when they first start talking to these riders, to switch, do they say, we'll give you everything we want, everything you want? Do you need
Not
everything
Cowie.
you need? Or if they're like, hey, we do hold back, we just won't give you whatever. Like, I just can't imagine Chase being like, okay, well, that's okay.
Yeah, that's the part that really like confuses me with Cowie and Chase and like the Sexton camp is that like Chase and his dad Kier, I mean, like they're very involved. Like Kier is very involved in Chase's program. They've been around the industry for a long, long time. So like they understand that Cowie is not going to give them everything. Like if anything, like where you're at with KTM and, I mean, KTM's been, knocked down with this financial stuff. Like it looks like that they're fine. They're in the clear. And I'm so glad because like KTM was really like my first team that I loved. But they've been, kicked down a little bit and injured. And so for Chase and Kier to come in and be like, well, screw Honda, we couldn't find what we liked, and screw KTM, we couldn't find what we liked. And then for Chase to go about this summer contract this way, and then look at Kawasaki, like Kawasaki is going to be their savior and do everything they want. It just, I'm like, you know better. I know you know better. And so I just feel like he's going to go to KTM, or he's going to go to Cowie, and it's not, I mean, the energy is not going to be what he's looking for, because I don't think what
No,
he's looking
they
for
are
exists.
way more corporate, it seems, at Cowie, like more strict, not as playful,
Well, they're
you
in a
know?
box. I mean, the parts that they can use, I mean,
Yeah, it's just like it's so disappointing because I really like Chase. And, there's privateers and kids who would kill to
mhm.
be in his spot and to have the opportunity that he has. And he doesn't seem appreciative of that. And it comes off like, being a brat.
It really does. For somebody that is so opinionated about his bike and everything that's wrong with it, and can't seem to get out of his own head, I'm thinking about the Arlington race. Like, you are overthinking this one, homie, but you're not thinking this one through enough, in my opinion. So that's a very interesting place to sit. Like, you are overthinking and underthinking.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's next year is going to have so many questions
I know.
at
Ugh.
A1.
Gosh, we got to get to A1. I need to get to A1. So you'll be there, I'm sure.
Yeah, we will probably go.
I mean, these years right now, like, even we're going to talk about Danger versus Donuts. We're going to talk about Jet and Haiden. But like, these years right now, I feel like in 20 years, we're going to be talking about them. We're going to be like, do you remember the first year that Deegan moved up? Do you remember Jet's perfect season? So I'm like, I want to go to as many races. I mean, I always want to go to as many races as possible. But like right now, I'm like, I feel like history is being made. So
Oh, yeah.
I want to be there,
Yeah.
Oh, I saw some girl on TikTok. Man, I wish I'd shared it. I now have a TikTok. I mean, like, I officially can get to TikTok, so it's a whole thing. But anyhow, I saw this TikTok of a girl, and she was like, "Yeah, I think Eli Tomac is going to win this one." And then it like cuts to her friends, and they were like, "This is Angel Stadium. This is baseball. There's no Supercross." And they pan down to the field, and it's a baseball game. It's not A1. I'm like, "That's my girl." So whoever
That's
you
hilarious.
were, you made me chuckle. I like you. I'm sorry I didn't share it, but it was really good. So, speaking of Eli, I had to apologize to Katie before we press record, because we differ on what we think this year and maybe next year should be for Eli. We still do not know about Eli's contract. We're pretty sure he's signed at KTM. I'm sure it is financials at this point, and like the Monster and the Red Bull stuff. But I personally think that, like, if Eli can't get the 2-year deal that he wants, and maybe it's a 1-year, why don't we think about right now as the AMA farewell tour? I'm not talking about World Supercross. I'm not talking about other things, but you're getting thirds and podiums with Jet and Mini Jet being Hunter and AP. And I don't know that next year is going to be any easier. And then next summer you have Haiden, and I don't want to deal with Haiden on or off the bike if I'm Eli. Like, I'm back in Deegs. I think that was a total load of crap. I think it was a PR move. I don't think John Tomac wants to hang out with Brian. So I want him to go out, as close to the top as possible. I don't want him rolling around barely making mains like some previous farewell tours that we've had. Katie, I know you disagree because you want to see him as much as possible, as do I. But how do you feel about Eli and what his last year should be?
I think if I had to pick, I would choose honestly this year to be his last year. Like, end on Yamaha, go to the Nations. He's done fine outdoors. Everyone is just jumping to conclusions because of Saturday. He still got third. I don't know if maybe he got a little banged up when he crashed in qualifying, when he over jumped that jump. Did it hurt him a bit of why he lost so much pace? I also heard that Eli was rolling the full jump with that cross, and Hunter was still kind of jumping it. That's why he got so far ahead.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just gonna kind of be weird for him to finish on KTM. Like, no one saw that coming
So
at
weird.
all. I've heard Gypsy say that he'll do fine on the KTM. Him and Hopper were talking about it on Gypsy Tales, that, he'll be fine on the KTM. I think Eli is a different breed in the sense of, like, he'll barely qualify for mains. Like, I just don't see that happening at all. Like, if anything, he'll be a touch off the podium. And yeah, I really don't want to see Deegan and him in the same class. Like,
no,
not at
me
all.
neither. Me
Like, that
neither.
doesn't it excites me to see Jet and Deegan next motocross, but I don't wanna see Deegan and Eli in the
I
same
get like
class.
I get giddy thinking about Jet and Hayden. Like I just love it. We'll come to it. We'll come to it. But one more thought on Eli. Two more thoughts. I lied. I'm emotionally okay with Eli not retiring this year and signing a 5-year contract and staying and racing AMA. And I have confidence that he could get like 4th through 7th for 5 years. But I don't know that
Yeah.
Eli wants that.
No, no, no. Like, we always say that John Tomac said, you quit when you lose, you pass the torch. And
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they're not okay losing to Jet right now, but at the same time they're okay. Like, it's expected to happen.
Yeah.
It's evolution, the sport grows, everyone gets better.
Yeah.
And yeah, the fact that he's podiumed every round except one when he had
Mm-hmm.
that weird off the gate at Hangtown.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
he's
pretty
fine.
incredible.
People are saying he's washed up and this and that. I'm like,
No. If that's
hello,
washed up, I'd like to be washed up.
it would be extra boring right now if Eli was not there. And
So
he's
true.
still so fun to watch ride. I love the clips on press day. I love seeing him on the podium. I love him and the connection with Jet and Hunter. Like, I've never
We
seen
talk
him
about that?
conversate. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Let the
Like,
bull talk.
yeah,
Oh my
it was
gosh.
just Eli was so into just telling them about the story and giving details, and Jet and Hunter were so invested and listening. And it's nice to see. You never see Eli conversate like that with
Mm-hmm.
anyone.
Yeah. I'm so
Like,
here for it. I love silly Eli, which we rarely get, like you said, but even like feeling open enough to just like shoot the shit about like moving cows around on his property and like the bull that like chased Jessica. And I mean, that was like so fun. And I realized like there's been a couple times where like Pro Motocross has like left their YouTube feed on like way too long. And I think they've crop it like eventually, but I feel like they just let it when it's live. And so like you're hearing things like I've heard Deegan say things as he's like walking away from the camera. So I'm like, y'all need to be careful. Be careful. I mean, don't, because I'll be here to listen. But yeah, I love that where they were just like, shooting the shit, and Hunter, has his little farm or whatever, and he was talking about that. And I'm like, I love it. I love it. I also, he talked about the bull thing on press day, and I shared it, and I was like, he was talking about like the old bull and things. I was like, this is just littered with metaphors. Like, do you hear yourself, Eli? Are you doing this on purpose? Because I was like, this is just a masterclass on like metaphors in your
oh
life.
my gosh, the comments were the best. I saw my favorite comment was, imagine being a bull and being chased by a goat.
Oh my gosh. I didn't see that. That's awesome. And I'm sure like that bull was like, what the heck? And Eli's back there barehanded, no gloves, just running after the bull, like, I'm gonna get you, Golly.
Yeah.
This is the entertainment that we bring. This is it.
I
Oh my
wish
gosh.
KTM could also put in Eli's contract that he needs to vlog.
I should have asked this. I was messaging with Kendall a little bit. We'll talk about Kendall and AP. I should have been like, is that true that KTM added it to AP's contract that he had to do the vlog? I haven't had that confirmed by anybody I like trust. I've just heard it. I've heard it from a number of people, and it makes sense. I mean, everybody's got a vlog these days except Eli. Come on, Elijah, give us what we want. But I would really love to know if that was like actually a requirement. I'm here for it. So,
maybe.
But oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, I was just gonna say maybe Eli was off because I don't think Jessica and the kids were there this weekend.
She's probably like recovering from being chased by a mad cow.
That's true, because she posted a picture of her and Lev with the horse.
Oh, so cute. I saw it.
So I was like, yeah, I don't think they're there. So maybe Eli's vibes are just off. People are jumping to conclusions. We'll all be okay.
This is a perfect segue into AP and Kendall Pleasanter. I loved Kendall had said in her interview with In Her Lane, which love those girls, helped just kind of set up Riverside's the platform we use. And so I was in the background, like listening to Kendall as she was speaking. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like slow clap. This is so good. And she was talking about, I think it was Bobby. I think it was Bobby Reagan. When maybe it was before that, maybe it was JGR. I can't remember, but it was one of the team managers that told Aaron, when they found out that they were pregnant with Jake, like, Kendall needs to be at the races because you do better when she's here. And I'm like, I love that one that's true. And then too, that like other people can see it in Aaron and that they affirmed it. I was like, that's so sweet. Like, I love it.
That's really cute. Yeah, see, that was
I
Eli's
know.
problem. His
Yeah,
kids
there
weren't
we
there, and
go.
his wife.
Yeah.
That's
Blame it on
why.
the wife. Let's do that. Let's just heap it on the women. That's
Yeah,
our
that's why he
total
got
MO
3rd.
here.
I mean, people are talking like he rolled around in 10th place. The guy still got 3rd. Okay?
Mhm. Yep. And he looks like he's having fun. So like that's the other thing is I'm like,
Yeah,
hey, he's having fun.
he seemed a little mad on the podium, but press conference, he was fine.
Yeah.
AP also had an off weekend. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's gonna
It is.
happen.
It
I think
is.
people just had a lot of hype,
Yeah.
because it was Southwick and
Mhm.
that's Eli's favorite track.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like next week will be a big weekend.
Yeah, I think so too. Did you catch the bit that AP and Kendall did at the beginning of it? And it was just like,
Yes.
Kendall's like, he's a
I love
redneck.
those.
Like, I love that too.
I can watch those all day.
Me too. Me too. Like part of me is like, I want to dedicate like a portion of Real Housewives of Moto to like just the like off industry stuff, and like hype up the other episodes and like Kendall's episode. And it was so funny. I messaged Monica and I was like, did you guys know? Did Kendall know that they were doing that? Like that they were going to drop in the same week? Like I was like, this is so perfect. So I love that the world got like, a double dose of plus singer. Kendall confirmed plus singer, like singer, not plus injure. So I now will do my plus singer. I think Aaron's been much more lax about it. He's like, yeah, whatever. We respond to both of it. And I'm like, no, it's your name. Damn it. Like, tell us how to say it. I get that with Aly. It's 3 letters, ALY. And people be like, what's your name? And I'm like, what, really? So anywho, let's talk a little danger versus donuts, which is not copyrighted, but should be, but it's attributed to Daniel Blair. That's Daniel's phrase from years ago. When Daniel kind of saw the trajectory of Jet and what Jet was doing and taking off, and then Haiden still being an amateur and Haiden taking off. So if things are lining up, we're going to see Deegan outdoors on a 450 next year. You and I were texting this weekend. I think that we could probably see Deegan on a few 250 East races on a 450. So we got to assume he's going to race 250 West. He's from California. Yes, he's based in Tallahassee, but I think that he'd be on West unless they're just riddled with injuries. So when we see the East races, which usually involves Daytona, right? Daytona's usually an East race. Like, do we see Deegan on a 450 at Daytona? Like, holy crap.
Oh, no.
Whew.
No, my Eli doesn't need any more competition.
That's true. He's already been dethroned, which sucked this year, but so I do think we see Deegan go up on a 450 and some of the 250 rounds. Now, I have said many a times that I understand that I'm not the target demo for Haiden Deegan. I understand. And I freaking love when Duke Gomez called him out about his cringy TikToks and Instagrams. Like, I get it. And God bless producer Joe. I was listening to Main Event Moto this morning. Joe is the wise sage of, Moto. He's like, he's trying to find himself. He's trying to figure it out. The kid's rich and young and famous and dumb, and he's just trying to figure it out. But when Jet took the jab at him on air on NBC with the watch and doing the thing. Also, I'm so tired of seeing Hayden's tongue. Like, just and anytime he comes up, if I'm going to listen to it, I just can't watch it. Like, I don't want to see your tongue and your uvula, that thing in the back of your throat. I don't want to see Haiden Deegan's uvula. Crop that, clip that. But I immediately knew what it was when Jet did it. And I was like, oh, this is hilarious. But then I was like, shit, like, don't give him any fuel. Like, they eat this up.
So you don't think at all Jet is just like a normal young thing to do? Like, you think he did it intentionally?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Yeah. And I like, if he had done it like Haiden does, where he's like, doing like stank face or whatever, but he was like, like really making fun of it. And so then like Deegan's in the comments clapping back. And like, if they're, I will give respect where respect is due. Hayden's clapback game on social media is strong. So like,
it's funny.
It's good. You don't want to mess with him. So he was all over it. He was all over on TikTok. I mean, so he made a thing and he was like, something about turkeys. I was like, I don't understand the turkey reference. But then he called out Jet's bald spot. And like, I get it. We're being very hypocritical here because we've talked about Jet's hairline and how, if Hunter's going to be the guinea pig for that family, like he lucked out on having the good hair. But
oh yeah, it's great hair.
It's very great. Even on the podium, someone was like, Hunter's facial hair. And I was like, I liked his facial hair. Like everybody's like, he
Hunter's
hair. And I was like, I like it.
Hunter's a cutie patootie. Like he has good sunglass taste. I love Jet's sunglasses this year.
Oh, I love.
Remember when they made Chase and Eli wear those awful
Yep, the ones
Alpine
that went
Star
all the way over their head.
sunglasses.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, so bad.
But
So,
I love Jet sunglasses.
yeah, I think they're fun. I also saw that like Haiden was talking about like him wearing a purse or something like that, and we're like,
Oh,
okay, but when Haiden does it, it's called a satchel. So I'm just like, okay, I'm over it. So I love the drama. I mean, clearly that's like what I'm here for, but at the same time, I'm like, oh man, Jet, like you just gave him a gift, you know, you gave him a baby gift, like Kenny. Like,
yeah.
so I'm here for it, but at the same time, let's do it on the track next year, and I cannot wait. I mean, that's literally why I've like, this hashtag is going using DB's words like hashtag danger versus donuts, because that could be the sport for the next 5-10 years is those two. I don't know that Jet will last that long. I think Jet will be over it, and I think he'll make his millions and be like, yeah, I want to go race, MotoGP or something like that and go hang out with Mark Marquez. But yeah, I mean, Hayden ain't going anywhere. He's 19. The dude is shredded, which also feels really gross when I'm like looking at him and like he's half naked talking about underwears and flexing. I'm like, you're so gross.
He's a
But
baby.
he is a baby. He's such a baby. And somebody in my DMs about not my DMs, my comments about one of the Deegan videos. No, it wasn't a Deegan video. It was a Chase video. And someone's like, you're so gross. You're old enough to be his mom. And I'm like, can you do the math? Like, you dumbass. Like, if you think I'm really that old, like, okay, I'll take that dig. But like, unless I had kids when I was in elementary school, I'm not old enough to be Chase's mom. I mean, I'll be his mom. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going there. You saw where that train of thought was
How
going.
old is Chase? Is he like 26,
I think
27?
he's 26. Let's look it up. Hold on.
Let's look it up.
Great radio. Do you ever talk in the Pulp MX drop sounds like that? Great radio.
No.
I do it.
5.
Okay, he was born in 99. So I would have been 9 when he was born.
Yeah, he'll be 26. Oh yeah, it does. Birthday September 23rd. I knew that.
Oh, that was my due date for my first. That means his parents conceived him between Christmas and New Year's. You're welcome, guys. This is the kind of hard-hitting journalism you're here for. Talking about conception dates. Let's talk a little bit about Redbud. So we talked Chase's graphics. Oh my gosh, Jade Dungy, for all the work that Jade's doing on a bike that like may or may not like race at any given time. Like props to Jade on that. His bike looks so sick. I love the Redbud graphics. I don't like, it's just one of those things.
Yeah, that's something to really look forward to this week is just seeing the graphics. They go all out and it's so fun. It's 4th of July weekend.
Yeah. I have not looked at the weather, but I know that there's been crazy heat waves going through. I mean, I was in New York the week before last, and just like people in New York having to sweat get real angry. So I think about people it's in Michigan, right? Buchanan, Michigan. And that's what it is.
Yeah.
I was looking for like a hot minute to see if I could go. And then it was like, I would have to get an RV, and y'all, I'm a princess. Like if I can't have AC in a shower, like immediately after Moto 2, I'm mad. So we will go at one point. I really would love to go to Destinations and Ironman. Like I would love to, but
I really want to go to Destinations.
We need to do, I mean, I know we did an episode on Supercross versus Motocross and like kind of what to bring to Motocross, but like I was talking to somebody and they're like, it's just so much harder as a casual fan to think about going to a moto race. One, because most of them are so far away from the airport and you got to figure out hotels and then you have crappy Wi-Fi. And it's just like, I get it. But like making attending moto races more accessible seems like a really, really uphill battle. Like I'm not jealous of MX Sports in that respect.
Well, my sister-in-law, it was her first time going to an outdoor when we went to Paula in May.
Oh, that's right.
She loved outdoors more than Supercross.
Interesting. Okay, what was her reasoning? She
just said she liked being so close to the riders, and you can actually they don't look like little ants.
That is true.
It seems like she said it's kind of just seems like you're more in the thick of it, like you're right there, and the noise of the bikes and just the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
So
I could see that.
That's why she enjoyed the outdoor race more.
Yeah, I could see that. So 2 years ago, we talked about this. Katie and her husband Derek came to the Main Event Moto Suite party that I planned for Arlington. And I get it. Like Arlington is exceptional in that it's very tall. Not as tall as NRG in Houston. I don't know if you guys have been to NRG in Houston and you sit in the top, for Supercross, it's barely even worth going. It looks like you're watching a video game.
Really?
It's so tall. I've been there for games. I saw Taylor Swift there like forever ago, and
Oh,
oh my gosh, the
oh,
tickets were like $100. Can you imagine? But it's
oh.
just not a good stadium for anything other than the first tier. But Katie, I mean, we were in the suite, which was the 600 level of suites. So it's the highest level of suites. I think there's some media ones that were above us, and there's the jumbotron at Jerry's World, which is very distracting because it's huge. But you're so tall that like you can't see rider numbers. You can barely see the rider colors of their bikes. I mean, I'm blind, so like, if I can't see at least the color of the bike, and it was a shootout, so we had, 6 races, 6 motos. And I agree with you. Like in that respect, you're so far removed from what's happening that I found myself even watching the Jumbotron because it's so big and it's right there in front of you. And,
Yeah.
so that's very, very different for moto. That's a good point. So this is not helping my desire to go to a race right now. Like we have no money in our bank account right now because we're trying to sell this other stupid house. And I'm
Oh,
like,
that
I want to go to
house.
I know y'all, this house. I mean, I won't give you my financial woes by any means, but like if you're trying to buy a house in Texas right now, it's a good time to be a buyer because there's literally more inventory than there are people. So I digress. Having 2 mortgages, we're not renting, it's a whole thing, for almost a year has sucked. Otherwise, I'd be at every freaking race because I know no chill. I just need Katie to be my like travel expert for navigating Spirit Airlines and racetracks nowhere near airports.
Well, we will for sure go to a race together next year.
Yes, for sure. Absolutely.
Like,
You and
even
I are
if
going
that means I just fly out to Texas and go with you, or if we try a new stadium, like,
Yeah.
that's for sure going to be on the calendar.
You and I are going to go to many, but I need to put this on Instagram. I want to poll our romies, like where do our romies live? And I would plan another suite. I just want to know like what city. I mean, I could do it in Dallas again because that was the easiest. I've got connections with like the suite company because you actually are like renting it through a third party because people own those suites, which is insane. So maybe I'll put a poll up about, a Romy suite party. We've talked about it off and on. Because Dallas would be super easy for me. Like I live in Dallas. I live like an hour away from Arlington. So that would be an easy one. And like, they're just so fun. And I think about like, yes, your husbands would be invited. No, your kids would not be because this is a fun thing. So don't bring your kids. I'm saying that as a parent, don't bring your kids. Also, if we get alcohol, there's all kinds of rules about that. You can't have minors in the suite and da-da-da. But can you imagine a whole suite full of girls? Like girls who know their shit? Like that'd be so fun.
That would be amazing. We would have to be on the Jumbotron.
Oh yeah, I mean,
with
like
our
we
shirts.
tried to make banners. Joe shut this down, but DB was in the booth that night. Not in the booth, but he was on Race Day Live, and the media booth. We did this on purpose. Was right next to, or the Race Day Live booth was right next to our suite. So it was like one door down is where Daniel was, so he could go back and forth. Evan was there with some friends. I went down and got Evan, brought him up. But we wanted to make like banners for Main Event Moto that we could hang on the outside of the suite and like have the giant fat heads. That's originally where the fat heads came in. My buddy Tom, Triple Do, shout out. He ended up actually doing the fat heads at Redbud, and that's what got him on the TV. And like they're famous now, and DB has his at his house. I love it. But
that was so cool. I like freaked out when I saw that. I was like,
oh my gosh, it was the best. It was the best. And like Joe in the ski mask or the balaclava, like it's epic. So yeah, we'd have to do something. Maybe we could just like blow up some butt patches, and they'd be like, oh, there's those weirdo romies. They're butt patch patrol. So anywho, wow, we went way random on that one. Redbud. Hearing that there's potential that the Conans will race Redbud. I was saying twins. Am I wrong? They're not twins, they're brothers?
no, I think they are twins, but one's
Okay.
way taller than the other. Yeah.
Oh, one's like hit puberty faster. That's so unfortunate. Yeah, because somebody was saying
one's like 6 foot and one's like 5 foot.
Oh, God bless that poor poor shorter one. Like maybe it'll catch up, but yeah, hearing that like one of them could race a 250 and one of them race a 450, and I was like, well, that's really interesting. Like if they're both racing, MX2 right now, why would one race a 450? I don't know. I don't care. I'm here for more talent to get in the mix. I don't like when riders who aren't racing our whole series come in, because there are privateers who are racing the whole series and are trying to stack their points for SMX. And so like, I want to think about the privateer too. That's like, oh great, these phenoms in Europe are going to come in. Like, what does that mean for my slot? I mean, it means you got to work harder for it, but I don't like when it's just like they're coming in and there's no points, no like point. You're not getting points for SMX. So that's my only like downside to that. Like I'm all for like bringing more competition, but it could be cool.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Yeah, it could be different.
Yeah. Um, anything else on racing stuff that we want to talk about? I have the results up. There was nothing
No,
shocking to
just
me.
me getting an Eli tattoo went down the window real quick.
Yeah, it did. I was like, Katie's skin is safe. Unfortunately. So yeah, Hunter Jet going 1-1, Hunter going 2-2, Eli going 3-3. I mean, it was pretty straightforward. So Justin Barsha came back. Justin got 10-9. Justin looked good even at
He
10-9.
did. Yeah, he
So
did. That was
props on Bam
impressive.
Bam. I'm here for it.
And then I also heard Jason was throwing up in his helmet.
Yeah, I saw that too. I mean, Jason's a puker on the line. Like he's like a not a nervous, but like an anxious puker, I think. And like I just feel so bad for people who have to clean those helmets. Like, nah. Like there's no amount of money in the world, you know.
He was sick. Like they interviewed him. I think it was Will, and he like said he was sick, you know.
Yeah. Well, same thing about Jet too. Jet said he was sick too. And I was like, did I miss the memo that all, I mean, that's the thing is like these riders hide it until after the first moto when they have to be like, I feel like death because I look like death clearly.
Maybe Eli was sick too, but he would never say it. He would never say it.
No, he wouldn't. And I have a thought. I have a thought. Like, Eli, I would like you to retire and I would like you to go away and rest for a second. And then I want you to come back full force like Ryan Villapoto, slamming Coors Lights and running your mouth. Like, give me that, Eli.
That would be a dream come true.
I'm so here for it. So
yeah,
sorry,
like,
you saw just see my dream.
Chance he could still come back as like a Blue Crew ambassador in like 3 years,
or do the opposite that RV did and come back as a Cowie ambassador. Can you imagine? I don't think so, but that would be really funny.
Yeah, I don't know what will happen. I really hope he just doesn't disappear into his farm.
I could absolutely see that. I could see it for sure.
We'll see. He seems to get bored, or maybe he'll take his flying more seriously.
That would be cool. Which just means we need to hype up all of their other side projects, like, you know, Kathy's winery and the baby boutique and the wedding planning. And we Real Housewives of Moto are single-handedly going to run Cortez board of tourism. Like, put me on staff. If Eli retires, put Aly and Katie and Real Housewives of Moto on staff because we're going to pump the tourism board of Cortez full of Eli fans.
I know. Our 10-year wedding anniversary is coming up in like, you know, a year and a half. But I'm like, Derek, we can go through Jessica Tomac and we can renew our vows.
Yep. You could at the winery. Like, I'm sure they do things at the winery. I mean, Tim and I got married we got married at a barbecue joint. It's a whole thing. In Texas, if you've been to Texas and you know Texas barbecue, we got married at the Salt Lake. We are barbecue elitists. But there's a winery that people get married like in the grapes and there's stunning photos. Yeah. You know, I'm so here for that. Katie and Derek vow renewal in Kathy Tomac's grapes. Period. Goodness.
I'll wear my Eli t-shirt.
You better. Like, make it make it a crop top and then wear your wedding dress underneath it. So you've got like the flowy of the wedding underneath, like an Eli crop top. Okay, I'm done. I'm unhinged. Okay, I'm looking at 250s to make sure we didn't miss anything crazy in the 250s. Joe Shimoda going 10-2. That makes me sad. So that was 10-2 for 5th overall. Mikel Harup, I'm still like on the Harup train. One, for his branding, his social media presence. I think the way that he's communicating with his Europe fans is brilliant. I think that this should be a masterclass on people who are coming over. Maybe the Conan brothers, like, hey, Myrtle, take note. When your boys come over, they're going to have to be dumb and like spoon feed their American fans like who they are. But also like, don't forget your European fans and take a page from Mikel Harup's social media branding. Seth, the maker of ham, went 9-9 for 8th overall. I'm happy that we just have Seth back and that he's seemingly healthy. And really it's just like, who else is going to be in the class that's not Deegan? Like I know that like the broadcast is going to have to be on Deegan. I get it. He's the front runner, but like, please put the camera on people further back in the field. Like, please.
I mean, I just want to see Faulkner. Like, he's out there. Never see him.
Where's he at? Hold on. Uno momento. Faulkner went 19-14 for 16 overall. I'm not mad at that either because he did all of Supercross and I'm sure he's exhausted and they had a newborn. Like,
Yeah.
just do the whole year. And then, like, here's a thought. This is my ADD on full display. I think that Austin at SMX could really show up because there's a Supercross element to it, there's a sprint element to it, there's a hybrid element to it, and I think Austin is one of those rare talents that can pivot easily from those. And I
Yeah.
think right now he's just building that foundation. So I'm not hitting the Forky panic button anytime soon. Like, I'm not there. So
No, not at all. And then Jalek Swoll has done really well for coming back from the Achilles injury.
yes,
Like,
yeah, uh-huh,
he's top 10, top
yeah.
5.
Let's see.
I think I
Jalik
saw him in
went. Yeah, he went 7-15 for 11th overall. But Jalik and Triumph, like Triumph's got to be stoked. I mean, that's a big deal. I don't think that Triumph is getting enough kudos, whatever we want to call it. So good on them. Anything else from this weekend that we have not touched on? At least from the first two motos, because your girl still has not watched the second two. I will watch them, especially because it's Southwick and it just looks so epic. But yeah, the energy was gone.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
No. Jet's just
he's a freak. He's a freak. So let's talk about Aidan. We didn't even start talking and I'm already gonna cry. I can't imagine how his parents feel right now. I hope I never have to experience. I hope my worst enemy never has to experience what his parents are feeling right now. I was a little disgusted by the industry. The comments, not the way that the industry, like the mainstream moto media presented it. I loved that. I loved hearing the stories. I mean, if you go look at my Instagram, like I said, I want to hear these stories. I want people to say his name. I want people to say his number. I want people to talk about his races. I shared that, like, we lost my brother-in-law in 2020, unexpectedly. It was, kind of a long stream effect of a racing injury. And all I wanted was people to, like, I wanted people to, like, tell stupid stories about him. Like, some of my favorite things were, like, when we were, just a mess and we've been crying and snotting and trying to figure out life insurance and logistics and all that. And then somebody be like, and his name was Brent, and they were like, oh my gosh, I remember Brent, that little shit. I remember when he did da 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 da, and, like, we're bagging on him. And I'm like, that's what I want to hear. Like, I want to hear that he was, like, a normal 16-year-old dude. I'd heard, like, he'd just gotten a new truck and, like, they were so excited and they were showing it off. I think it was at Paula or Hangtown or something. And I've seen nothing but positive things about Aidan and his family. And I get chills when I think about it. I do. Because this sport that I love so much, that we love so much, I've been really down on since launching Real Housewives of Moto. I've gotten closer to the industry. I've made some great connections, and I've been really sad about just how cutthroat it is. And I'm not blaming anybody in particular. I think what fans are naive about is just how little money is in the sport, which is so sad. So when you think about, like, dividing the pot and everybody going for the same dollar, aside from, like, those, top tier riders, you're literally fighting for every dollar. So someone coming up is taking food out of your family's mouth, and that's the reaction you're putting forth. And I don't get that vibe from this family at all. And I have friends that were there at Mammoth. I have friends that are very well connected to the Zing family, and just disgusted at the keyboard warriors and Artie going off, and, like, we're not going to go into the details of what happened, but it was during a moto, and so kids are already, like, outing, like, kids that were in that race, and I'm just like, I'm so disgusted by it. But there were so many positive things that I've seen that have already come out of it. Chris Kiefer had posted, like, his son Aidan was in that race, and a lot of the riders who stayed that didn't go home, they took off from the gate, and then all of them pulled off before the finish line. So everyone DNS'd. So all the riders in Moto 2, yep, nobody got points from it. I just think it was really cool. I had said, please don't be a dick, don't be disrespectful. And I had a few people being like, Moto is the most respectful, and I was like, no, it's not. It's really not. Because my first thought when I saw it was, oh my gosh, protect this family and protect this. I mean, the kids that were there, the families that have to explain to their kids what happened. I just, like, it made me want to throw up. Like, literally, I have felt sick in my stomach, and I don't know them. And I've talked to so many people who don't know them personally, and they feel the same way. Like, you just feel so helpless and small, and just like it's just so unfair at the same time. Like it's just like he's 16. He's 16. And yeah, so I'm at a loss for words, but it this one hits different. I don't know what was your weekend like when you when you found out about it. I gotta take a I gotta take a breath.
It just comes down to, you know, if you tuck your kids in the bed at night and they're safe and healthy, you have everything you need. Nothing else
Mhm.
matters. Everything else is just petty BS.
Yep.
It puts things into perspective. You feel for the parents and his sister and, you know, his friends and family. It's like you just feel so bad. You just start thinking bad thoughts.
Yeah.
Honestly, you know, like, God, they're gonna have to load his bike and they're gonna have to go see his bedroom, and
Ugh.
it's just that part
Mm.
always gets me, like, this is their new reality, and it's something they'll never recover from.
Yeah.
It's a club that no one wants to be a part of.
No.
It's it's just it's devastating.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about mental health a lot, and I talk about postpartum, and I talk about just doing the work to overcome trauma. And I don't think that people immediately think like, "Oh, I need to get in therapy now." But there are so many people even outside of that family that witness that like that sticks with you. I mean, not to get really really dark. Like I was holding on to my sister-in-law and my husband when my brother-in-law was brought out of the house in a body bag. Um I can only assume that Aidan was probably loaded onto a stretcher, and taken to the hospital, but, like, that will never be out of my brain. Like, um, having to distract my six-year-old nephew so he didn't see him coming out in a body bag. Like, Aidan has siblings, this is a family sport, and, like, I just think about how far this ripple is gonna be for pain. But anyhow, I wrote this piece because I can't think straight, and so I'd like to read it here and just kind of be done with it. But I want you guys to know that ugh, I'm really looking into like what I can do with this tiny little platform. I want to talk to the AMA. I know that I mean, we never have enough flaggers, pro or amateur. There were things with watering the track during the race. So I'm not pointing blame at anybody. I know that these poor track owners are I mean, they're just up against the wall with insurance, and it's a dangerous sport. Like, would I want to own a pro motocross track? Absolutely not. Like it, I mean, aside from the fact that like a kid could be killed at any given moment, like it just seems like such a logistical nightmare. So I am looking into like, what can we do to use this collective mama energy, um, to either pay the AMA more or pay in Supercross or have a separate fund, or who we need to talk to. So I'm researching all of that, like, just because I want to, because I feel so helpless, and because I'm so type A, and when I feel helpless I can't do anything, it makes me feel worse. So selfishly I'm looking into this just to make myself feel better. Um but it comes down to this. It is Aiden's death is not going to be in vain. This already feels so different. The conversations that are happening already, here we are, 36 hours out, are different. And so I'm encouraged. But I'm also clearly like heartbroken for a family I don't even know. So okay, I'm gonna try to read this. Then we'll wind this down. Um the internet is a dark place. So I called this Dear Aidan. I like wrote it to him. You don't know me, but in the 36 hours after you left this earth, I and many, many others feel like they know you. We can't wrap our minds around what happened, how someone so young and so talented was taken from us, from the sport, and from your family. But I want you and your family, but I want to know you and your family more. I want to know about your traditions and your friends. I want to know how you started riding and where your dreams for the future were. Would you have been the next famous Cowie kid climbing the amateur ranks on Team Green? I mean, even at 16, your style and skills were so obvious. Watching all of the footage that's coming out, you long-legged and straight-backed, I feel like I'm almost watching a young Adam Cianciarulo. I want to know, what race were you most proud of? Did you go down on the start and charge back through the pack? Did you hole shot and drop everyone? Did you race against kids bigger and stronger and on better equipment than you? Did you still smoke them? Did you have silly race superstitions and have to eat the exact same thing before every race or put on one boot before the other? Who was your favorite rider growing up? I want to know these things. Not because I love this sport. Shoot, I'm sure I could find all these answers on Racer X with how talented you were, but because I'm a mom and because I love this sport and I cannot fathom how heartbroken your parents are. And if there's one thing I want them and the sport to know, your passing was not in vain. Now's not the time to talk about how this could have been prevented. It's time to celebrate you and tell funny stories and laugh until our tears of sadness mix with ones of deep, deep affection. But it is time for us as the collective moto community to realize the feeling we've all had since we heard this horrific news, that sickening, pulling, burning feeling in our stomach. I talked to so many fellow mamas, most of whom don't know you, and we all agree. When anyone's kids are on the track, they're all our kids. This could have been anyone's daughter or son. You died doing something you've done a million times over. You died doing something you love, but this could have been prevented. It could have been avoided. Aidan Zingg, you don't know me, but the world should know you. To his family, bravo. You raised a stellar young man in a sport where a lot of people aren't spoken well of in the shadows. You raised a hell of a son, a friend, and a rider. We're confused, heartbroken, angry, and shocked, but I promise you, I give you my word, things will change, and they will change because of you.
Mm,
We're gonna hit the stop button because I can't.